Imagine I went to the office after 4 years. Met my new colleagues, went to a team dinner, and what have I spotted? A colleague wearing a Maen Manhattan in 37mm. It was quite unclear if he was a watch enthusiast or not, but the main message is he enjoyed that watch and he was proud of it. $1,000. That's a lot of money. That's the sweet spot of a lot of watches, especially Swiss. For a micro brand, I think it's actually tough to be a contender in this sweet spot. I'm personally a guy who's really demanding when it comes to spend around $1,000 for a fairly new brand on the market. However, it feels that the Maen Manhattan is almost the perfect watch for my standards. You'll see. As I introduce this video, I see almost everyday entrepreneurs making new watch brands, and for me it's quite hard to keep up and make the difference between brands which are really looking to make horology or entrepreneurs which are trying to make a profit. That is why sometimes I'm a bit skeptical or a late adopter of new things. The Maen Manhattan, as I see it, can be a platform of many things. Can be a dress watch, can be a piece of valuable horology, or simply a well-designed watch. I can't decide. Although it feels that Gel Genta was here, the Manhattan feels crafted in a way to have its own personality. It is built in a Genta way, but interpreted differently. You can say it's inspired from Patek Philippe, you can say it's inspired from Gerald Charles, Audemars Piguet, Cartier Santos, or Bulgari Octo Finissimo. But in reality, it feels like a design of its own. It feels made based on the best practices of creating simple and effective designs, having its own personality. This integrated bracelet Manhattan comes in 3 versions. The 37mm with a seconds hand, which can be perceived as the safe bet for those who are looking for a politically correct and well-executed watch. There is the 40mm version and this well-sized 39mm without a seconds hand for those who are seeking for a pop of excitement, who are looking for something extra in their horological experience, let's say, as it happens to me. 6.9mm is the lucky number, and the move to have a watch without a seconds hand, that's courageous. I believe the removal of the seconds hand was sacrificed to obtain a greater thing, in my opinion, to create an exotic thinness, which is unspecific for the vast majority of watches. 6.9mm today can be considered as a specialty of the highest watchmakers due to the poor availability of the standard movements for the mass brands, so it's quite hard to tailor a case against these movements unless you accommodate a 2.5mm movement like the ETA manual wind, the 6001. From the perception perspective, I thought as well I need a small second to feel the watch is alive, but in this case it didn't. Although there is no ticking hand, I do not perceive the watch as being static, let's say. And then let's discuss design. The case is sculpted and tailored around the dial, has a tenue volume with inner arched angles which basically follows the octagonal bezel but also trims the case footprint on an interesting way. Although the case feels sharp with a lot of angles, the case is very well refined and crafted, having polished chamfers along the edges on the top, on the bottom, but also on the bracelet links, and as a result the case doesn't scratch or it doesn't feel sharp at all. And the overall case offers a brushed appearance with polished facets on the side of the bezel, on the front, on the bottom chamfers, but also on the bracelet links to offer quite a premium view when it interacts with the light. And the octagonal faceted crown is beautifully signed by the brand with a nice embossing of the logo popping against the blasted foreground. And overall, I do love the mechanical feeling of the winding. The bracelet is well refined and has a nice ratio against the 6.9mm case. It feels about right against the case height, has a nice taper starting from 26mm, getting to 17mm, closed into an invisible clasp signed and embossed with the Maen logo. The bracelet has polished screws, the links are spaced accordingly, and as a result the watch does not pull hair from the wrist when you slide it on the forearm. That's nice. And its comfort, 7mm in height, 117 grams in weight. Imagine this is wearing extremely well. It glues on the wrist surface and it's extremely comfortable, not to mention the preview when checking the time. Now, in regard to the dial, I thought the Côte de Genève was a supporting accent for the already beautiful and tailored case. But what do you think? Seeing it in person and based on my friend's feedback, apparently the star of the show is the dial pattern and its chameleonic cold warm green tone. Through the help of the Côte de Genève pattern, which is based on a feather pattern, it transforms from a muted green cold tone to an exciting electric warm green tone, which makes the watch more exciting than expected. I actually don't think I've ever seen such a big color difference from a cold green to an electric warm tone on a watch before. The forest green color tone on its highest peak feels quite electric, but what I like about it, it doesn't affect the markers and they remain distinguishable against the foreground, which feels well balanced proportions and accent wise. The markers are highly polished, simple and purposeful. They have a certain symmetry and a great balance in my opinion against the emptiness of the dial or the tailored hands, so well balanced. And the baton hands are highly polished and thicker towards the middle, maintaining kind of the elegance of the dial, but it also contributes to the personality of the Manhattan. The lume is solid as well. When ignited, the C1X1 Superluminova gets quite bright, but it doesn't last that much. But I think it still remains visible during the whole night. As quick specs, the ultra slim Manhattan measures 39mm in diameter, 47.8mm as lug tip to lug tip, 6.9mm in height and weighs around 120 grams. The construction is stainless steel, it's fully brushed with polished accents, has 10 bar as waterproofness, a non-screwing crown, a sapphire crystal which is well coated on both sides I believe, has also a see-through case back which unveils the beautiful caliber ETA 7001 which has 45 hours power reserve. The price is 999 euros for the slim version or 720 euros for the 3 hands 37mm version. I think Europeans have to pay tax for it, so yeah, the price is a bit higher, but I'm not sure you have to pay tax for the rest of the regions, but at this price I think this watch is almost twice as good as a PRX. As genre and because it has 10 bar as waterproofness, it is a solid, well built and has great lume. This Manhattan feels to tick more boxes than usual, and this can be a go anywhere do anything watch, can be an everyday watch for sure, but a dressy one as well. It's up to you to decide. As conclusions, if you're looking for an integrated bracelet design with something special, something extra, this is more than a solid option. And I would recommend the Maen Manhattan, especially this slim model. I think it's exciting enough even for the mental barrier of 1000 euros, I'm personally in love with it. Or better said, if you're looking for a Patek, Octo Finissimo, Royal Oak, even a Santos budget alternative, this definitely must be it. So that was pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this review. I want to thank the brand for sending this watch for review, and I'm also curious to know what do you think about this slim Maen Manhattan in 39mm. Please let me know in the comments below. And as usual, if you're new around, please consider subscribing for future episodes. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be brave and stay safe.